Where's my audience? Okay. Multiple sclerosis is a disease that affects the central nervous system. To go deeper, this disease attacks myelin sheaths of neurons. Myelin sheaths are what surround axons of a neuron that send out the signal from the neuron to the body. And now if these get damaged, the signal can't be sent, so you can't do an action like raise your hand. This disease is uncurable, but with medication and treatment, it can be made easier to deal with and minimize the symptoms. I was very surprised to see that so many people knew about this disease because it's not that common. After analyzing my audience survey from SurveyMonkey, I'm glad to see that people do know about this disease. There are 4 different stages of this disease. There is relapse remission, secondary progressive, progressive relapse, and primary progression. Relapse remission is the most mild, and this is when you have attacks and you have some remission and the disease does not progress. With secondary progressive, this is when you have the same thing with attacks and you have remission, but the disease does progress. In progressive relapse, the disease has very clear and acute attacks, and during the remission, the disease also progresses. So this is kind of getting more severe. And then the most severe is primary progression, where the disease progresses at all times and there is no remission. There is such a wide variety of symptoms, which is what makes this disease so hard to diagnose. This disease usually begins with tingling, numbness, or weakness of a limb. It can, though, affect any part of the body, says the authors Bunch and Tezar in their 2006 third revised edition of Diseases, Volume 5. The symptoms can vary depending on what stage of MS the patient is in, and the symptoms can be physical or mental. The physical symptoms include spasticity, tremors, balance problems, and even bladder or bowel dysfunctioning. Now, these are just a select few of the common symptoms of this disease. There are many more. The mental symptoms include things like depression and cognitive problems. The depression is caused by not being able to do certain basic skills that they used to, and it can also put some strain on their relationships with a significant other. The cognitive problems include things like loss of memory, some confusion, and even in severe cases, mild dementia. These symptoms are usually around only during the relapse, then subside in remission. Multiple sclerosis can't be cured, but there are medications that are intended to slow down the progression of the disease and minimize the symptoms. MS patients have 2 forms of treatment available, medication and therapy. There are some medications that can actually slow down the progression and are approved by the FDA. For example, Avonex, Rebif, and Bederson are all approved to help slow down MS. Other medications are just your basic over-the-counter meds that are available to treat the mild common symptoms. The second treatment is therapy. This is very beneficial also. Physical and occupational therapists are used to help relieve pain in the muscles and limbs. MS patients, therapy differs a little bit though because it has to be done at a slower pace. Now, unfortunately, this treatment isn't free. MS can be a very extensive disease. On a website last updated September 2nd, 2003, Carl researcher O'Brien from BMC Health Services Research indicates that there are between 250 to 350,000 cases of MS in the United States. It is hard to pinpoint this number exactly because it's so hard to diagnose this disease. And this is because of all the symptoms there are. It can look like other diseases as well. So there has to be a lot of tests done to for sure indicate that it's MS. The annual cost of multiple sclerosis in the United States has been estimated at $2.5 billion, states O'Brien from the Coro Research Institute in his 2003 article in BMC Health Services Research. Depending on what stage of MS the patient is in, indicates usually what kind of level of treatment they will need for their relapse. The treatment is divided into 3 categories: low, medium, and high. On low-level treatment, the patient will need to see a doctor and maybe have some medication. On medium level, they will need probably an ER visit and have some therapy sessions set up and have medication. Now for your high-level treatment, this is more serious and they will be hospitalized with therapy and with medication. According to Carl researcher O'Brien in his 2003 article in BMC Health Service Research, the overall cost of a single episode is on low level of treatment is $243, and on medium level it's $1,847, and then on high level treatment it's a whopping $12,870. MS patients have a lot to deal with. It can get very frustrating dealing with a disease like this, especially if it has an unknown cause and an unknown cure. With the help of loved ones and nurses, this disease can be made a lot less stressful and easier to cope with. Okay, and then here's my audience.